everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come in, come in, come in. We're going to be talking about why isn't my eBay listing selling? Always a good question to ask. And I'll have tips about getting your listings to sell that are good for my new sellers that are just starting on eBay. And if you are, welcome, welcome, welcome to eBay, as well as tips that work for more intermediate and advanced sellers. Come on in, let me know that you can hear me, and we will get right to work. So the first thing to consider when you're looking at your listing or you're getting ready to list, and so many sellers, this seems so obvious, but so often when sellers come to me and I'm looking at their account, because they're not getting sales, their sales have slowed down, they're listing new inventory that they think should be selling and it's not selling. So I'll go in and I'll take a look. And the first thing I do, hi, Carolina, how are you? Is I check the price, right? Because it matters. Now, there are some things with prices, and I'll go into that. But the first thing is to check the price, even if it's a unique, one-of-a-kind item, because you will swear you have the only one, or perhaps when you're sourcing it, because this will happen sometimes. You'll go to an estate sale, or you're at the thrift store or the consignment store, and you pull your phone out and you do some quick research and you pick up the beautiful mid-century modern vase, Edwardian bookend, whatever the item is, really cool vintage toy from the 60s, game from the 70s, and there's maybe one listed or maybe only a few listed. You can get the item for a great price. Sometimes there's none listed, but you just go, this is so cool and unique and wonderful. I think I'll do okay with this, especially if you can get it for a low price. And then you get home and you go to list it, and there may be others up already. Again, you swear it's so unique, and it might be unique to your area, like your thrift store, your area. You've never quite seen anything like this, or perhaps you sold one a year ago, a year and a half ago. I'm raising my hand on this because I've fallen victim to this. And sometimes you'll grab it without researching it because it sold so well for you a year and a half ago. And then you jump online, and sure enough, the price on the item has really dropped. So a couple of things. So always check pricing. It is the number one thing I encourage people to check before anything, because it matters. If your item, even when it's unique, one of a kind, and I'm trying to look around for something, I'm gonna pick something that's sort of silly, but like my Tudor. So let's say this is a vintage Tudor from the 60s. Hi, Vicki. Hey, Sharon. How are you? And I go on, and somebody else might have something similar. It might be bigger. It might be a different color. But take a look at it. Because if people are searching for vintage Tudors from the 60s, and let's say theirs is from the 50s or theirs from the late 60s, or it's a different color, you will be getting compared to that Tudor if they are doing their keywords correctly. Okay, so just get an idea, a rough idea of what the price is. I encourage you to do this on a Google sheet or a piece of pen and paper, and you write out, it's good like to number your items or however you want to ID them, but just, number one, vintage Tudor, and then do the price range. If you see more than one, okay? And even if one is more modern, and you can make a note on that, just say, so they range in price, I'm just picking stuff out of the air, $20 to $30, $20 to $50. And don't forget that all sellers now have access to Terrill. So if you do listen to YouTubes and podcasts, if they are old, if they're a couple of years old, they're going to be telling you that you have to pay for it, and you don't. It is now free for everyone. So it's well worth checking the price. So just ballpark, get an idea of the price, okay? And you're going to be taking your measurements and doing all your research about the item, and then you're going to be getting ready to list the item, okay? The first thing why the item isn't selling is your price is too high. So if you have an item that's been up for, let's say, several months, okay, not several days or several weeks, which sometimes, especially when you're new, it can be very frustrating. Like you have your item up and it's like, why isn't this selling? And it's only been up for like 2 or 3 days. It's like, breathe. If you don't know, it does take Google typically about 30 days to index your item, and eBay items are fed to Google. So just breathe. Of course, we all want everything sold immediately. But sometimes if it does sell too fast, we're like, oh, maybe I should have priced it higher. So just look at the range of price. But for instance, and I did this with a seller, gosh, this was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we looked at a really cute item they had, but it was a brand where there were other, there were other items of this brand that were listed. And we went and looked, and one that was very similar to this, it was a woman's clothing item, had sold, and it was the same size, had sold for $20 less. So what that means is, especially for items that you think should be selling, okay, so it's a pretty mainstream brand, it's like it's an Anthropologie type brand, or it's a Macy's Nordstrom type brand, you've priced it well. Typically that kind of thing doesn't sell in 6 months or less. It's good to go in and just spot check your price. Okay, so always double check your prices. It is a good idea to do best offer. I find best offer is a very good thing to do if it's a fixed price item, because it encourages a dialogue with prospective buyers. Yes, sometimes people will lowball you, but even if they do, you just counter. If it's really low, just counter very cheerfully. Hey, and just counter. Either they'll come up or they won't. But the thing with best offer is it can get a dialogue going. And the other thing with best offer, if you're not doing this, this is for my newer sellers and experienced, you can do auto accept on best offer. And I encourage you to do that. Why not? If the item's listed for $34.99 and I'm willing to take $29.99, just do auto accept and put the price in. It's automated. Like if somebody offers you and they don't know how low you're willing to go. So if it's listed for $34.99, you're willing to take $29.99, auto accept $29.99. That way if they offer $30, $31, eBay automatically accepts it for you. So anyway, back to, and also that way too, if somebody does come underneath you for a very similar item and you've got best offer on it, they'll send you an offer to see, if you'll do the same as this other person, because for whatever reason they want to shop with you. Yay. And by the way, bonus tip for my more advanced people, if you're getting a lot of offers on a specific item or a specific style, 9 times out of 10, that means somebody's got one in for auction. And you're denying it. Like, so let's say it's up for $34.99 and you're getting a lot of people offering you $26.99 or $25, $24, $23. You really want $28, $29. Just hop over to eBay and just check quickly, because there might be a new one listed for less or one for auction. So if all of a sudden you're getting a ton of best offers on something and it's a little low, just go and see what's going on, because there could be one on auction. And then you go, I'll take like $2 less to get this thing sold, especially if it's been up for a while. So why isn't this thing selling? Check the price. I'm big on best offer. Unless something's so unique and it's valuable and I mean like antique kind of valuable, then fine, stick to your price. But otherwise, I think a little haggling is good for all of us. It gets it sold. Yay. Look at your title. If you're not aware of this, eBay has spoken of it and the numbers just keep climbing, but the vast majority of shoppers are on mobile. Now they might look at it on mobile and then buy on a desktop, but the vast majority of shoppers are on mobile. I mean, it's way over 70. I think it's over 80 now. I mean, they keep throwing numbers out, but it's definitely up there. So it's really worth it, even if you list on a desktop, to pull up a listing once a week. You can do this while you're watching TV. My husband loves to watch sports, so I'll be watching sports with him and I'll pull up my listing and take a look. And just take a look at it. And I mean, look at it. And maybe get a friend to look at it too. The first image, like if you're searching whatever the item is, again, back to tutors. So let's say I'm searching tutors and I'm scrolling through eBay. So don't pull up yours necessarily. Do a search for the item that your item should come up in. Tutors. So I'm looking and I look at it and then look at what the others look like. Does mine stand out in a good way? You don't want it to stand out in a bad way, like the image is out of focus. For instance, and this is one, if you haven't thought of this, if everybody's doing it on angle like this, okay, can be fun with shoes, but it's also good for clothing. Angle it so that yours looks a little different. If everybody's like this, why not like this? Or maybe start with this, okay? Just sort of look at it, okay, and go, if I just sort of like angle it off 2 inches when they're scrolling, okay, because remember, everybody's on their phones and they're scrolling. when they're scrolling, if everybody's is like this and then mine is like this, guess what? You stand out. Same thing with the shoes. If everybody's shoes are like the side and then the front, one, they're doing that because obviously that's very popular, but could I do it and maybe angle it a little? Again, so mine stands out. I'm looking to stand out in search. Your first image is called your hero image. And not that we don't care about all our images, because we do, but it is really important that that first image really pops. This is true no matter what you're selling. And I realize some things are easier to make pop than others. But again, if everybody's is one angle or one look, if you can make yours just a little different, just maybe an inch or two this way or that way, it will help you to stand out. It's called thumb stoppable, by the way, because everybody pretty much is scrolling with their thumb. Is they look, oh, and they click your item. And that's what you want. You want to get attention. You want them to want to come and take a look at your item. So why isn't my item selling? One, check your price. Now, for my unique one-of-a-kind sellers, okay? You go, Kathy, I know my category. I know my price. This is more my intermediate advanced sellers. That's great. I've got a really good friend who's terrific on vintage jewelry, and she can price higher than other people because she really knows it. She really researches it. She has repeat customers. Okay. She does a lot of social media. Yay. And she's willing to wait. So she's willing to wait a year and a half, 2 years, because of the research and the knowledge she has of her category. I think that's great. So she'll price the item $34.99, $39.99. Now, if you're a new seller and you're competing with a seller like my friend, and you don't have feedback of over 1,000, okay, is I look at it, and this other seller who, let's just say they're top rated, let's say they have over 1,000 feedback. They might even be doing free shipping, and they might even be doing free returns. All of this, because this gives you like a slight bump in search, is typically if I'm a newer seller, so let's say my feedback is under 100, is if I'm competing with that person where my item is very similar, you're going to need to price your item lower. I need to be incentivized to shop with you. So if your competition is $39.99 and you're the new seller, you're $34.99, $33.99. And in the description, this is what I encourage people. You just say, I'm new to eBay, which they can tell because you've got like 3 feedback. 1, if you do have experience on other platforms, it's worthwhile to say, I'm an experienced online seller, but I'm new to eBay. I'm here to take care of you, something like that. If you're new to selling and you have never sold online before and you're jumping in on eBay, congratulations. But you might have retail experience. You might have worked at a local store in your town or your city, and you can say, experienced in retail, you are new to eBay. And then if you're just new, just say, I'm new to online selling, but I'm committed to giving you top quality customer service, something like that, so that they know that you are absolutely there to take care of them. Okay. So if you are competing with somebody with a lot of feedback, it's just good that your price, I have to be incentivized. $1 or $2 isn't going to cut it. $4 or $5, you've got my interest. And I go and I look at the quality of your listing, good pictures, nice title, a description, you've given me the measurements. If there's any kind of flaw, you've called it out. So I go, this person, okay, they're a new seller, but they've written a really good listing. I mean, I shop this way. I'll look at it. If you're $6, $7 cheaper than the more experienced, and I look at it and it's a decent listing, I go, I'll take a chance. I like to encourage new sellers. But go that extra mile with your title, with your pictures, call out that you're newer in the description. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, we can tell that you are by looking at the listing. So why not address it? Particularly if you have experienced retail other places, it's worth calling it out. Okay. It will help your listing to be sold. Now, those of you that are more experienced, that might have a gazillion feedback, absolutely you can price higher. Why? Because you have all that feedback. So when I come and look at your listing, I see you have a gazillion feedback. It's all 100% positive. I know that you're going to take care of me. And I have that build of confidence. So then particularly when it's something like birthdays and anniversaries and holidays where I go, you know what I mean? It's like, I just want that extra assurance of knowing somebody that has experience packing and experience shipping. I'm willing to pay that extra $5, $6, $8, $10 to do that. So that's a couple of ideas for why isn't it selling. Your price, good title, that picture, that first picture, because the thing is, especially if you're in a category, I mean, something like sneakers, where there's a lot, same thing can happen with DVDs, is if you have that first picture that's just a little different, because what you're going at, and you've competitively priced, you've got a good title, right? You've written a good description, you know, you've checked off all the boxes. That first picture, that hero image, just being a little different because what you're after is that thumb stop. What you're after is that person clicking on the listing because they go, oh, and then they come in and then they go, and then they buy, right? And remember, the majority of our shoppers are on mobile. It is well worth spot checking your listings. And again, very casually, you can do this while you're watching TV. You know, if you're out in a brick and mortar retail standing online, you're in the car waiting to pick up your kids at school, you know, whatever, is just pull up a couple and really don't just pull them up and go, yeah. Look at it. And also search the category, because what you want to see is what are other sellers doing, right? We all learn from each other. What are other sellers doing? And learn, because you'll look at some and you'll go, ugh, but you'll look at others and go, what a great idea, right? And then you go, I can do that, or I'm going to do that, but I'm going to add this little tweak, okay, and make it your own. But those are my ideas to help you to get your items sold, okay? Great. Now, I just finished eBay Holiday Sales Success Bootcamp, which I did with a lot of sellers. We had over 400 sellers attending, and I recorded the videos from the bootcamp. It was over a week, and we went into just like this. We went a deep dive on listings, sourcing inventory, optimizing your listings for the holidays, just tons and tons and tons of information. Also, some great social media tips for eBay sellers. And I have it as an offer right now. I wanted to show it to you. If you hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com, you'll see it there. It's eBay Holiday Sales Success Bootcamp. This is a limited one-time offer. This is only going to be available for a few days. So for those of you who took the bootcamp with me, or if you missed the bootcamp, this is your chance to grab the videos. You get a full set of the videos. And I'm also including a PDF checklist called the eBay Perfect Listing, which I literally go through the parts of your eBay listing, the things to make sure to include, and they can be tweaked and optimized to really help your listings to stand out. If you're not aware of it, going into fourth quarter, and that's where we are now, October, November, December, you will typically see more listings up on eBay than any other time of year. There is an increase in sellers, so we have more sellers coming onto eBay. And then the sellers that are on eBay, typically everybody ramps up their listings. So more than ever, no matter what category you are in, there is steep competition, and that grows every day with everything that's going on. Just more and more sellers are going onto the internet to sell, and more sellers on eBay. eBay is more competitive in all categories than ever before. So hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com, and grab the eBay Holiday Sales Success Bootcamp while it's available. And Sharon said the bootcamp videos are absolutely incredible. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much. Vicki said sometimes other watchers will buy it when someone counter offers it. It's happened to me. Yes, I'm telling you, if you don't do best offer on your listings, you are missing out. And again, you might have tried it a while ago. Those of you who join me regularly will know I say this. Something may not have worked a year ago. I get that. I've done things like that. I go, oh, I tried that. That didn't work. It's worth it to try it again. The thing with best offer is you are creating a dialogue with a potential shopper. It's a potential shopper. Yes, sometimes you get lowball. Yes, sometimes it's really low. But it's very interesting how many lowball offers will come up. And if it's something that's been listed for a while, again, back to my $34.99, and let's say they're offering you $18, which is a little low, right? Okay, or they even do something like $5. You're like, you know, but you counter. So it's $34.99. Let's say they came in and offered you 10, which is like a bit low. But I counter and I go, okay, obviously they're looking for a deal. And you counter $26.99, $27.99, 25, and then maybe they come up to 20, and then maybe you can get them to like 25. Again, it could still be a seller that's looking to flip. There's nothing wrong with countering. And there's nothing wrong with asking a low price if the item's been up for a couple of years and you got it for practically nothing, even though the price they're offering is incredibly low. If you still make a profit and it's been up for 2 or 3 years, you go, maybe it's like, please take this, right, and get it sold. But hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com, and grab yourself the eBay Holiday Sales Success Bootcamp videos. They're terrific. I go into so much detail. Listings, inventory, optimization, and again, information for my new sellers, also intermediate and advanced. And it is lifetime access. You have access to these videos forever. And you'll have the PDF checklist, which is super helpful, the perfect eBay listing. So grab the offer. Also, a portion of the proceeds from the eBay Holiday Sales Success Bootcamp go to my friend Lorianne Wong's Food Pantry Reflections of Trinity, which is in Atlanta, which does a terrific job at helping people with food needs. So you'll be helping those people too. We're going to give them a portion of the proceeds. So grab the boot camp, and thanks for joining me, everybody. Bye-bye.